Welcome back to the Billionaire Podcast, the biggest podcast. Now, today, we're going to be interviewing Andrew Bellamy. I had to say the name slow because this guy is the biggest in entertainment right now. This guy's been doing so many things. He has more than a decade in the industry. So massive. He keeps most of the biggest events, most successful events within the industry. He's mentoring a lot of people and helping them actually get started within the entertainment industry, right? So for all the people that want to actually get into entertainment or just learn, some general things about business and how the business works, this pod is for you, right? So watch the pod, like, share, subscribe. All the people that, y'all don't have the Give Me merch as it, get the Give Me a Billionaire merch, right? Give Me a Billionaire merch. So get the merch. We're going to be donating a part of the proceeds to a charity. Comment the charity in the comment below. Donating a part of the proceeds to a charity to help some people that are in need. Y'all remember, the more you help, the more God bless you, right? Y'all know the vibe. Super blessed, super rich. See you in the pod. Billionaire pod. Also, be sure to join the Learn and Earn. Learn what I'm able to actually make the money to pay for the pod. Make the money to actually be doing everything that I'm actually doing. Years in the industry, almost a decade, super blessed, super rich. The Billionaire Pod. Alright guys, so welcome back to the Billionaire Podcast. Today we're here with Andrew Bellamy, the big man in entertainment in Jamaica and the Caribbean as well too. The big man. Wow. And Khalil and I are here with him. We're going to talk to him. We're going to sit down and just reason with him about his journey, how he got here, how he is able to actually maintain everything that he has and his future plans for growth as well. So welcome to the Billionaire Podcast and thanks for being on the pod.
Yeah man, respect.
Right, cool.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah man, so let's dive in. So how did all of this start?
That's such a hard question.
All right, give a rundown from the beginning.
Beginning.
You can give a rundown from your high school days, what influence.
I'm beginning with that started, preschool and then Mona Prep and then JC then.
You used to go JC?
You
I got JC for 1 year and a little bit.
That they tag team with a Yardmas man,
Yeah. I did just go for a year and a half.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
I was starting college, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge introvert for most of my life. Mm-hmm. I guess I was very observant, trying to just figure out my path, absorb a lot of information. So it was while I was on campus at UWI, I kind of realized that I have this affinity for entertainment. I love having people around me, enjoying themselves, and if I could have facilitate the moment, I'd kind of encourage it a lot.
Yeah.
I guess it probably spawned from being like an only child type of thing.
Okay.
So it was while on campus, I ended up starting a website back in the day, and I don't want to age myself, but I will age myself. I was like 19. Yeah, 19 years ago. I had a website called whatever.com.
Whatever.com.
And before social media, before Facebook, before High Five, before Instagram, before all of that, we only had websites. We used to cover events, take photos. Them time that was taboo. But it was trendy with all of the college students at the time. Mm-hmm. So that was my introduction to parties, was a way for me to get access to events. And I meet promoters that I see what events are about. I realized that I kind of had an interest in it from then. Okay. So it was while I was on campus, actually, I joined the CAC committee. And at the time, it was Marlon Campbell who was the CAC.
Yeah, the CAC is basically the people that...
The CAC is a guild position up at UWI, and in charge of all of the entertainment, all of the cultural stuff. Yeah, man, I didn't get there. So I joined Marlon Campbell's committee. He was CAC the year before me. I learned the ropes. I did a lot of work with him. And then in 2004, again, aging myself, I won and I became CAC. Yeah. I think that's when I really got my baptism into entertainment.
Okay.
I was able to run UWI Carnival that year. And Carnival and Soca has always been an interest of mine. I grew up listening to all genres of music, everything. I mean, from reggae to instrumental to dancehall to, rhythm and blues. My parents used to play everything. Yeah. A lot of calypso. So from us at U, I always had this passion for carnival. You understand? It was something different, you know. Again, I guess based on my background, I was always exposed to a little bit of carnival growing up. So when I got the opportunity to run carnival, I had my own committee. The committee had members from Trinidad, other islands. You know, it was a nice melting pot. I learned a lot from them, and they kind of guided some of the process. Yeah. For me, I think that's when I really fell in love with entertainment. That year, you know, we had Integration Thursdays. You know, we had a huge carnival that year.
Integration was happening before that, or it started when you were there?
So Marlon would have started Integration the year before me, and it was more of a social games, interactive type of vibe. Yeah. It was less of a party vibe. Yeah. It's just into the latter part of his tenure, his year, that it started to become more of a party vibe. And then I kind of exploded it into a full party vibe. And after me, it just, it just went another level.
Nothing was the same.
One is a pioneer for that, because even right now, every new UE student or university student, whether they're at a different university, I realize that all of them look forward to Integration Thursdays on campus.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I guess it's a huge melting pot, but more than that, is a good outlet, is a free outlet, and it's a safe environment. It's a good introduction to, from an organizer level, to learn how to put on events, and then it's a nice outlet for you to kind of get new stuff, trendy music, to have fun. It's a win. It has always been a win. You know?
So how did it? Because you said you were an introvert, right? But how did you like get out of your shell? Because most people use the word introvert as a excuse to not do a lot of stuff. But how did you get out of your shell from being an introvert to be in an extrovert?
I wouldn't even say that I'm an extrovert. I just know how to transition between both when I need to.
Okay.
It was actually in that race to become CAC. You know,
fight.
If I tell you who I ran against, you'd understand it was a big race. I have to send respect, you know. At first it was very competitive, but you know, we have grown to respect each other and work on different projects together. It's Kamal Banki.
Yeah. So he's the guy that do Dream Weekend.
He's the chairman for Dream, I believe. Big promoter, co-owner of Ribbies. You understand? Yeah, it was very aggressive, but it forced me out of my shell, because I had to now go and interact with people, walk up to people, you know, take some rejection, and I had to walk every hall, I had to walk every faculty, I had to introduce myself, and you know, I had to present my speech, you know, in guild debates, and that was a big thing for me then, huge thing. That was like 2 hours of rehearsing. But I mean, it paid off, and that also helped me to come out of my shell, and it kind of showed me that, you know, if I apply myself and with perseverance, and if I keep challenging myself, I can improve myself. You understand? And I realized that being an introvert or extrovert really and truly is something. It's a social skill that you can develop. You can learn it. You understand?
I see a lot of people learn that.
Yeah, it's not necessarily out of comfort, because any given day I'd rather sit down on my couch. If I have the time, you know, then.
Or
I'd rather be around people having fun, and I get joy from watching them have fun, type of thing, you know. But yeah, so that's really my introduction to this industry. Was running events, cultural events, parties, interacting with the guild, interacting with different the VPs at the time. The president at the time was Damien Crawford. So it was. It allowed me to develop, allowed me to understand events, and then, you know, we transitioned from there, graduated eventually from UE. I studied management studies. Actually, I started in the sciences. I had a crazy dream of being a doctor one day, and then after second year in the sciences, I realized, boy, medicine is not for me. I'd rather own the hospital, you know, than actually work in the hospital. And then I transitioned to a different faculty. But yeah, it was from there, left university, started a job. I had a good job, actually. I was doing fairly well, a management trainee, and I realized that I was getting bored with it. I realized from a tender age, from as a teenager, it kind of was difficult for me to help build something that I wasn't a part of. That makes sense, type of thing. So I remember my grandfather would have done 50 years at DNG, which is Red Stripe. You understand? He did 50 years there, and when he left with retirement, they just gave him a little plaque, a little watch, and him a little cake.
That's like the McDonald's
and
story.
it pissed me off,
50 years,
I mean, for 50 years he was an accountant, doing so much with them, and that's all he got from them. Don't get me wrong, him getting pension, and him have a nice family, him have a house, and yeah, fine. So I had my job at this time after university, and I was doing fairly well, but I realized that something was missing. And after 2 years of that job, I remember going to my father and asking my father, say, I want you to give me a loan.
Yeah.
He said, why you want a loan? I said, I'm going to start a business. What kind of business? I'm not sure. I start a business.
Yeah.
I just randomly pick some, I go sell sweetie. So I find a supplier for sweetie and do some little research in the market.
Hey, everybody, but feel like everybody start off with sweetie.
Bro, that's how it starts.
No, but it's crazy. I get a 20-foot container of sweetie. They even have a clue what me I do.
That's
So
crazy.
you sold it off?
I sold off around 70% of it, and it took me some months to sell it.
Yeah.
I lost big time, and it was a rude awakening to the realities of business. I mean, I have to big up my father for taking that risk, because my father actually took a loan to give me that money. So I had to pay back my father for 2 years, and thankfully during that time I was struggling, but my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, she would have helped me out when I did have to make my payments and them things.
Spend on you, man.
Nah, well, I must be honest, that's a huge part of my success story,
that's
that
good.
support.
That's good.
But coming out of that experience, I would have learned a lot of the core functions of business, and it would have taught me that probably I need to research more, I need to understand the market I'm going into. During all of this, I've been hosting events.
Yeah.
So, I grow from keeping a small little event for 200 people. At that time, I was transitioning out of the official and original water party, which no, but it was one of the largest water events that we had up to around 2011.
What's the name of it?
Great name.
The official and original water party. We started it in 2006. And I don't want to age myself, but friggin' might as well know the story. Started it in around 2006 and we ended it, I think it was 2012 to be honest. We just stopped. But at the peak of it, we're pulling in like 7,000 people. The old mass camp had mashed down the old mass camp. We had like 5,000-6,000 people inside, and outside they had around 3,000 people, and I couldn't come in because we just ran out of space. So there was a lot of learning while I was going along, up and down. You make crazy money.
Yeah.
This event, next event, you're losing money. You're living like say you're a millionaire at the time. Yeah. You just live month to month, week to week, day to day type of thing.
Yeah.
Never understand the business side of entertainment.
Yeah.
And I should say, back then there was no formal training for entertainment.
Yeah.
There was no formal training
Is there any
for
right now?
culture. There is. The university has courses that actually kind of develop that skill. I don't know if they have a degree. They may have a degree that is around entertainment now, I believe. If not, they definitely have courses that focuses on that.
But do you think because the thing is, a lot of people have the view that a lot of professors in universities just teach from probably a textbook. You don't think it would be
Most of them,
better
unfortunately.
to learn, just get mentorship from a man like you or somebody who has been in the business
So
versus going to do that? Or I think it both works.
I think both works. There's merit in both. There's merit in being an intellect, and there's a merit in being, learning from mistakes and building from the ground up. There's a lot of value in both. But the reality about it, regardless if that was the case, there was no opportunity at the time for me to say, hey, I wanted to do a course in entertainment. I wanted a degree in entertainment management or event management or event organization or any of that.
Yeah.
So, you had to learn the hard way. You learn from failure, you learn from mistakes. There was a handful of people who gave any form of mentorship at the time. I have to big up Fuzzy from Bacchanal, God rest him soul. He would have been myself. He would have probably been my first introduction formally to the craft of Carnival. Where he was mentoring me, teaching me, giving me understanding about the costume aspect of Carnival. Fast forward. All of that, while Water Party was on its way down, came up with the idea for iLove Soca. I realized that, at the time, I found that dancehall was in a place, it was doing well, but I also wanted to just craft a new trajectory.
Yeah.
We introduced iLove Soca at the time in 2010, 2011. I don't remember the exact date. iLove Soca is around a decade old now. A little bit more than a decade old, to be honest. Started out, we had leftover liquor. We had leftover liquor from a water party event, and we say, yo, we're just going to keep a small event, invite some friends, around 150 people came out. It was just a pure soca event. And that grew into, well, what you know it is now.
Yeah.
You know.
As I said, like, people will be, this is how big the man thing is, right? People will be on the North Coast on this big vacation, right? Every party is keeping there, and the man is like, I love Soca Kingston, and you see the roads packed. Like I remember the highway has like multiple lanes, you know.
Like what, 4 lanes, 3 lanes?
I think it's 3 or 2 lanes.
Yeah,
and then you would see that every lane is packed back to Kingston.
Where them I go, I love Soca. That's what I was gonna say a while ago. Like everybody love I Love Soca in Kingston, and probably they wouldn't know that this is the man responsible for all of that.
Well, to be fair, it's a team. I have partners, and all of my success has been geared around the partnerships that I have, the people I have around me. I've had some bad partnerships, but most of my partnerships have been successful. With genuine people. We feed off each other, we learn, we're always striving to improve ourselves. So, in starting iLove Soca, the concept, I mean, you know, to introduce a cooler fit concept at the time was still very young in the industry.
And new.
We started out as a drinking inclusive event, but it transitioned into a cooler event. A cooler fit, I should say. And it has been a lot of work, you understand? But in all the years of failure, all the years of trial and error, we kind of figured out now, you know, we have a great understanding of the business without getting a degree in it, you know, but we kind of get to own masters by, you know.
Experience is the biggest master.
All the years of experience, I don't even know if I tell you, there's so much you have probably asked a question.
All right, so what I wanted to ask you, like, while you talk about your challenges and your successes, what are some of your biggest challenges and what are some of your biggest successes that you've had? You had anything to add to that?
On the challenge side, because having such a life of entertainment, right? Dabbling in entertainment, and we don't want to go too much in this, but
more than double.
Obviously more than double. But how do you balance that with like your personal life and, you know, being around your family, spending time with your family, your friends, and you're having to manage like your social events? What are the challenges you face with that?
I'm going to be a politician now and just answer what I want to answer. So I will say this. I think the hardest challenge in life has always been for me to strike balance. I see huge value in family. I grew up in a nuclear family. I kind of, you know, from as a teenager, probably one of my biggest dreams was to have my own family. So, I mean, I rate my family, I value my family. At the same time, I'm very passionate about entertainment. I'm very passionate about the stuff I do. And I guess naturally I'm a creative, so I'm always pushing that. I also would say that, you know, I don't know what life would be without this challenge. You know, it would be very boring for me to know, and I'm not discrediting or devaluing anybody who live their life like. But for me, if I was to just wake up every day, 9 to 5, go home, 9 to 5, go home, I guess I'm naturally just like a serial entrepreneur in the sense that I constantly need to be doing multiple projects, running multiple businesses. It kind of
purpose.
It's more than a purpose. I realize if I'm not challenging myself on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly or yearly basis, if I don't feel like I'm growing or moving that bar higher and higher, I feel like I'm actually wasting my time.
And I feel like that comes from you. We were talking earlier and you said like you kind of have OCD in certain aspects. I think that's where it comes from because I can relate to that.
I probably use OCD loosely. I don't know the medical term, to be honest. But you know how everybody talk about it.
Anyone says OCD meaning the literal medical term. But I can understand that. So it's a case where you're allergic to complacency then. You don't
That's
want
actually a great way of putting it.
Actually. I'll put that on a shirt for you. Allergic to complacency.
Actually that shirt that bad. To be honest, I think that's probably the perfect way of putting it. I find if I'm not moving, if I'm not working on a project, if I'm not serving politically, if I'm not doing something, I really feel as if I'm wasting my purpose, or wasting my time on earth, wasting my time here, and don't serve no purpose. Don't get me wrong, there are times when you clearly have to unplug from society, you have to unplug and just chill and relax. I won't lie, coming off a carnival, I took 2.5, almost 3 weeks of just recuperating. I mean, that's naturally part of the process. But back to your original question about balance. I think I can only use myself as the example, but having a family, I believe I must set an example for my kids. I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, a son and a daughter, AJ and Isabel. They are a big driving force in my life, right? I would say this. I believe I must, by my actions, set an example for them. Without even consciously saying that is my purpose, but that's part of my purpose. You understand? I remember growing up, my father worked hard. My father made a lot of sacrifices for the family. My uncles worked hard. My grandfather watched him work all in life, type of thing till he retired. And that's part of my purpose. So if I don't have that doing and setting that example, I feel as if I'm missing the mark. That's one of my functions, set that little example for them. So that's one aspect of my life, is strike some balance with work, push myself in work, and then make sure I have time for family. Probably not as much I would want it to be. I don't know any businessman or anybody, especially in entertainment, who feel like they're spending enough time with their family. It's such a demanding lifestyle. But, you have to make the effort, for spend time with my wife, make time for my kids, make time for myself. And then on the other flip side now, I have to be constantly pushing the envelope in making sure that my brands, and when I say all of my events are partnerships. It's not me one. There's no success in me alone. I have strong partners. I have a good team around me. Everything I do. So the reality about it is a lot of that success comes from the partnerships. But you have to constantly ensuring that you're making sure your events are relevant, your brand is relevant. You constantly have to be out there and make people see you. You also have to be thinking how to improve yourself, thinking how to improve your brand and the experience of your brand. So I clearly speaking from an entertainment perspective, you understand?
But I realize a lot of the things you mention, you can apply to multiple other stuff, because even I'm thinking about the businesses that I have, that I can, like for example, branding is very important. I have to always be present with a lot of stuff, right? Always be innovating and finding different ways to reach different people. So all of that can be applied to different industries, right?
I agree.
What I want to ask you though, the partnership that you have, are you able to establish them, and are you able to maintain them for so long?
I know.
They have the punches in it,
I know, this is probably not how it normally go when you ask this question. I would say I have very unique partnerships, So with iLove Soca, it really is 4 of us that keep iLove Soca.
Yeah.
Right? And really and truly, it's before iLove Soca, there was friendship. You understand? All the way was brethren, type of thing. The friendship bigger than just the 4 of us, but you get what I'm saying. 2 of us used to the water party. And in conceptualizing this new event, I kind of realized we'd need other people to kind of build out a stronger team.
Yeah.
At that time, we never have no vision that iLove Soca would be what it is now.
You just know you start something, you can do it, and you can make it work.
Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of noticed certain traits in my brethren. So we invited 2 of us from iLove Soca, Ian and myself. From Water Party, Ian and myself would have invited Ricky and Denver. Say, yo, guys, we want to try this new concept. Denver would have just gotten introduced to Soca and kind of fall in love with it, Realize Carnival is a nice experience, nice space type of thing. We started iLove Soca. And, a lot of that came, like I was able to figure out the qualities that were needed for a good partnership from the friendship we had. a lot of time in business you don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of times in rushing partnerships you kind of end up with some partnerships that you regret down the road. Mm-hmm. I've been through that already. Mm-hmm. I guess we will talk about some of that too. So it was really over the years of friendship you kind of realize certain traits. Mm-hmm. And from that I kind of know or kind of figure who I wanted to invite to the table.
Okay.
A lot of the concepts and a lot of what we do in terms of creativity kind of spawned from my brain. But the execution of it and the reality of it is definitely a team effort type of thing. I don't know if that helped in how to select a partner in business, but that's how it worked out for me. It was just through our friendship. Outside of that, a lot of, to be honest, I started Sleek in 2012.
Yeah.
And
Sleek is one of the biggest magazines right now. Like I realize that you guys have the social media, like Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I remember when Sleek I used to see Sleek in parties, taking pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys used to employ a lot of university students to work for you guys as well. Yeah. And you guys had the cleanest pictures. Like everybody, that was Facebook days. Yeah. Everybody wanted to ensure that they're in a Sleek picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So, flip on the Facebook.
Yeah. So
I mean, even that.
Yeah.
In starting Sleek, I don't get a joke, I used to actually go and take the photos myself. I used to sit down and use Photoshop or Lightroom and edit the photos.
You take your time and you learn that yourself and you just...
When we just a key part, I used to fool around Photoshop and make artwork myself.
Yeah.
So I kind of appreciate and understand a little of everything in business.
You can design same one everything there?
No, right now I just conceptualize. Right now I will... Yeah. I will sketch sometimes, but I normally just share with an expert, a real creative expert, whether a graphic artist, a videographer, somebody, a creative director, what my ideas are, and they kind of sketch it out and present it how it should look. Yeah. But it's been a lot of that. So even with Sleek, I actually have partners in Sleek.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was you alone.
Well, I'm majority owner, you understand? But I always believe you will get a greater commitment from somebody, in my opinion. And this has been you see, if you don't have a wealth of money and, like a huge reservoir of money, sometimes for you to get the best quality and to get the right people, sometimes if you can't offer them the right salary, offer them a stake in the business. I've done that.
Sometimes you offer the salary and you offer the stake, but you still don't get the value that you're supposed to get.
So I've been down that road too.
Yeah.
So it's a gamble, it's a risk. I mean, I don't know, there's no reward without taking a risk. And I would say it has paid off for me. It has been a lot of learning, a lot of development both ways. Because, or with the team, I should say me and the team. So sometimes you have to take that risk. But at that time in starting Sleek and the dream that I had for Sleek, it couldn't have been me alone. There was no resources for me to hire, the right staff complement. I wouldn't say the staff complement that I would ideally want. So you find people with crazy potential and interest and desire, and you work together. And if you can't pay the right amount, it offers stake, and then over time, there is a reward, and everybody's kind of vested in this project and this product.
So how you decide, like, all right, so you made some key points a while ago, but if you were supposed to list it out in like point format, in terms of selecting the right partner, selecting the right person to offer a stake in, or selecting the right people just to be on the team and the positions to put them in, what are some tips that you would be able to give to the viewers who might want to start any type of business and they want to ensure that they don't make some of the mistakes that you made? Just like a life hack or business hack.
That's I would say this. Who I am now clearly is not who I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or who I was even before COVID. I'm constantly learning. And I think over the years I mastered different aspects of business. And I'm still learning about different aspects of business. I would claim I'm a serial entrepreneur, but the reality about it, I'm no master none. in my opinion.
Jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Yeah, and if you know the full meaning of that, it's a scary statement, really. But
you know it, tell me now. Like
no,
you know
man,
it.
another time we'll go through that. What I was said though is, it's not so clear cut. I can't give you a theoretical answer.
Like three points. You must have 3 points. Just 3. No
what
pressure.
exactly you want? Or you want me to present?
No, I know. It's just like if you were speaking to your younger self right now, Andrew. Like I'm looking at you. You know, this is what you need to do to double or triple what the things that you've done over the next 10 years to come. Right? You're speaking to your younger self. It's like if you were
I like
doing
that question.
if you were doing X, you're doing mega X now. You know, mega billionaire.
Regarding myself or regarding partnerships or just
Yourself,
on a whole?
partnerships, everything. Because you know, I'm looking to learn from that too. You know.
I will say this: confidence and belief in your dream. Don't doubt yourself.
Don't doubt yourself
at all.
So even if you feel like you can't do it, don't ever say that.
So it's more than just belief and belief in yourself. It's also, I don't want it to sound ironic, but belief in God. So like a lot of what I do, I come into prayer, as people might find that weird to say, but
just like you speaking it into existence.
Yeah. If you want to call it that. So you have to believe in yourself and believe in your dream. And by any means necessary, what you have to do to achieve that dream. I mean, clearly within the legal regulations of life. You get me? But don't short sell yourself. You understand? I appreciate you have to make serious sacrifice. You have to work harder than you ever worked before. Focus like you never focused before. And the joke about all of this, I think it's probably in the last year and a half of my life that I actually know how to work hard.
Yeah.
You understand? And I guess the reality about it is each level you get to, you realize when you break a barrier, I should say, like whatever that mental barrier is, when you break it and you go to another level and you look back and you say, boy, I was wasting time. Yeah. And I think appreciating there's no limit to what you can achieve. That you can devise any plan and make it a reality. Yeah. You can bring an idea to reality with the right planning, with the right team, with the right connections. I mean, nowadays social media has made access to people so easy. You understand? Finding like-minded people is so easy. Finding people, audience for your information or for what you're about is so easy to present it. That never exists 20 years ago, 15 years ago, really.
So to say what you build from like not having social media, that's some serious level of work that you put in, you know, like to build such a strong, powerful business and the connections they build without social media. Like that is like
that is like paying dues though. I mean, regardless, you know. Regardless if you have social media or not, you know, you still have to pay dues, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're overnight success, you overnight just bust and you make it.
Most people who overnight just bust them, it's like a balloon.
Yeah. It busts and then it no more drive, it just drop.
Easy come, easy going. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people who get it easy actually lose it very quickly.
So and on that, I want to...
Let me the table before you
Yeah. We need some wood because it's a kind of glass, you know.
Yeah. So if God forbid, everything was supposed to like fresh start with all the knowledge that you have right now.
I just do it. So I can do it again. And I can do it tomorrow.
But what would be the method though?
I bet it's better I give you experience than to tell you what to do. So you would have known that I'm former CEO for Jamaica.
Yeah.
And Jamaica was a huge carnival band up to 2020. COVID would have hit us. COVID hit the entertainment industry at a tricky time. But it hit the carnival industry in Jamaica at the worst possible time. It hit us at the 11th hour. It hit us a month before carnival. Yeah. It decimated carnival. It decimated our financial position, it mash up the business.
Oh, you have spent out so much money already.
Yes.
You know,
serious investment. And for who know Carnival, especially pretty mass and costumes, it is super expensive production. It's a year-long planning, it's a year-long investment. But to be honest, it's 10 times more than a party. 15 times more in terms of the investment, depending on the type of party you're keeping to.
Yeah.
So we lost big time. And that now, to find yourself, boom, you have this financial crisis as an individual, but at the same time, the industry have a crisis.
Yeah.
There's nobody to turn to. There's no way to practice your craft. There's no way to...
bailout.
No bailout, but there's no way to, get yourself out. Even if there was let's say a government and a magician say, yo, boom, that don't exist. You can find a way. All you have done for so many years is this industry. This is how you make your bread and butter. It forces you to, as cliche as it sounds, to pivot, to figure out now what's the new, how are we going to survive, what is the plan, And for a year it was, probably took it too easy, and I probably took things for granted that it would have snapped back right after. And you realize right after 2021 reach and things still...
Nothing not changed.
Up to the first quarter of 2021, it's still off. 2021, someone then give us a little opportunity, we jump out and try something with no work, going to make no money. That's with iLove Soca. I know I was going to make no money. We know we're not making any money, but we say, just to ensure that the brand
is still alive,
is relevant, to ensure that the iLove Soca brand, have a chance of surviving COVID. We invest what we never have. And it was probably the best investment we ever made, because it took iLove Soca from being here to now being here. Because what happened was everybody sat at home, have nowhere to go, not allowed to go anywhere. And when them open up the little window for events, this was one of the only events everybody across the whole of Jamaica hearing about iLove Soca. But back to what I'm talking about. All of 2021 would have passed, and there's no way to practice, there's no carnival to execute. You have all of these masqueraders from, before COVID that you have to honor things for them. It was a very difficult situation. During this time, as I shared, I resigned as CEO, and I resigned last year in July, early July or late June, I don't remember, of 2022. And this resignation came from, imagine an idea of mine where I would have invited everybody to the table. I was so passionate about it, but what happened is, hardship kind of sometimes, everybody individual hardships.
Different.
While there's a massive island-wide international crisis, forces people to kind of do what they have to do to survive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, weren't seen eye to eye. And regardless of me probably having majority in this business, I decided to step back because of my passion and wanting to honor everything that we had promised to our masqueraders from 2020. Yeah. Not knowing how, not having the resources, don't know how. But for months, I was figuring out how I'm going to do this. And, it would have led to the idea for Yardmas. And this is where now all my years of experience come to play now. The hardship of COVID now made me more serious about life, more focused. I had to be strategizing how to take an idea from 0 to 100, not in 5 years or 3 years,
but like a month,
within 6 months. This go from idea to execution and to come out successful. And I was very quiet. I was getting a lot of bashing about why people not hearing from Jamaica. They're not what going on with Bellamy and this. And all this time I know I'm working on a plan. I didn't even know how to verbalize the plan. I just in my head on paper are working out this plan.
You know how to make it work.
Up to a month before, I presented the idea to my existing partners for Yardmas. Even the closest people to me never even know my plan. I was just working on the plan because I was taking time to figure out what I would need to create the right puzzle, the right equation, who I want to bring to the table. And I hate to be using the word I, but the reality about it, I appreciate that I bring everybody to the table, but I know it's a team effort, and there's no success without my team and without the partnership I have. But, it took time to figure out the right partners, and then now to have the conversation with everybody about what this dream was. And then now knowing from all the failures what to do, what not to do. I can't even say what to do, but I know what not to do, and I know what going to hurt. And that actually, along with the partnership now, everybody contributing when they bought into the idea. So imagine now this idea, some of them just have confidence in who I am. Some of them have confidence in the iLove Soca brand. Some of them have confidence in the fact that them love Carnival is a huge opportunity. Some of us would have seen that there's a huge opportunity financially. May not have gotten it in the first year, but there's a huge financial opportunity. And an important part of having partnerships and in business is being able as the person who is leading that entity. Yeah. I think I've matured a lot over the years. I still have a lot of maturity to find. And I guess it's through experience you acquire. Maturity. Definitely. But a big part of, I think, a successful business is being able to judge character in people.
Second intro, guys, I forgot to tell you about the Give Me a Ferrari merch, right? So we got the Give Me merch, the Give Me a Ferrari merch. The Give Me episode is going to be posted soon, right? But we just did the episode is massive, right? And we have to decide to do the Give Me merch. And then we're actually giving away a part of the proceeds to a charity, right? So be sure to comment your favorite charity in the comments below, and we're going to be gifting these different charities on a monthly basis so that we can actually help improve society, help improve the youth, help somebody that is in need. You all know I came from a very humble beginning, and all I'm trying to do right now with the pod, with the Billionaire Pod, is help as many people as possible, whether it be you learning something new or helping somebody that is in need, whether they need food, clothes, anything at all, right? So enjoy this episode, like, share, subscribe, and share this with your friend and family. Be sure to share it. The Billionaire Podcast, super blessed, super rich. Comment below, get the merch, give me merch, give me a Ferrari, right? That's the vibe, give me a Ferrari. So y'all gonna learn from the pod, y'all gonna learn a lot of stuff from the pod that will improve your life, improve your skills, build a business. Then y'all go probably be able to buy a Ferrari and be like, yo, I'm going to give Pajama a Ferrari. I'm going to give somebody a Ferrari or a G-Wagon or whatever. We got them in different styles. Y'all don't vibe. Super blessed, super rich. Watch the pod. Super blessed.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's something you can't learn in school. It's something you can't buy. It's something that within a 10-minute conversation, you kind of have an idea of who you're dealing with.
How genuine a person is.
And, a lot of my partnerships that I have now I was testing individuals on their character for a year and a half, 2 years, 6 months before I even introduced the idea that I wanted a business with them. And I think that's one of my strengths. Sometimes it's a weakness because sometimes you can make a mistake, but a lot of the time I think that's what has helped with the perceived success. In finding the right partners, finding the right people to do business with, the right suppliers. It doesn't matter who it is. Finding the right DJs, finding whatever it is, having that character or having the ability to read character and know who works at your brand, who complements your personality, who can enhance you, who can actually force you out of your shell and help you grow your product at the same time. A lot of this thing go both ways. It's not only I may have the idea, but you'd be surprised. I had the idea for Yardmas, and the initial logo was crap. And
you designed it?
No, it's not me design. But in the rush to kind of come to market, we had an initial logo. And it was our younger partners who were adamant. Fet Republic. They were adamant that logo not going to work. And I just have to trust them. And they come up with the logo now, and the logo will just win. You understand? And that's it, finding the right people and knowing them people can challenge you. And then you trust them. You understand? It took so much time to figure out who the partners were, so.
You know what I realized? With the industry, with the entertainment industry, you talking about partnerships. I remember back in the days, in entertainment, there were not a lot of partnerships. Like, people never believed in partnerships. Everybody just wanted to do it by themselves, get rich by themselves, be the main person that is known and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But what led you to decide that, hey, I don't want all of this. I don't want all of the cake by myself. I want other people to have a slice as well.
I think it would be... So growing up, I would have friends from all walks of life, right? And I kind of realized very early that I don't want to get racial, but I find at the time, and even still now, there's always this crab in a barrel mentality with black people.
Yeah.
People always trying to show off on each other, who doing better than each other.
Yeah.
And it's actually something that I despise. I don't care how much money you're making.
Yeah.
We're supposed to kind of grow together.
And make something together.
I come from a middle class family. So I know I got somebody to suffer, but it's not like I was super comfortable and have everything I want in life. I did have to work for everything I want in life. There was no bed of roses, you understand? But I realized very early from university days that I have this idea and I want to publish a book for argument's sake. I don't know the first thing about writing.
Yeah.
But I have a brethren who can write. I have the idea.
Partnership with him, man.
You understand? So, back to where it was. As a huge introvert, I had these crazy ideas for events. My first business partner with events is Ian Bourne, right? My best friend.
Yeah.
Him is a huge extrovert.
Yeah.
So I would have been conceptualizing the event, executing the event, and this man just go on a road, talk to anybody, walk up to any girl, anybody, and just sell the event, sell tickets. It complements each other. I realize working together we can achieve so much more. I can go somewhere fast, but working with people I can go so much further. You understand? So I have a space in my life and a era in my life where I'm not rushing. I believe it must do properly. And do properly with the right people, with the right structure, right processes. And I'm here now because of all the failures I've made, all the mistakes I've made. I'm learning how not to, I would say this, you jump into business idea with Carnival, with Jamaica. I grow from doing events, and events is a certain level of resources and revenue and money that you manage or should be managing. Jump into a Carnival band now and is, for argument's sake, 10 times more money.
Yeah.
You have no experience in managing this amount of money. You never go to school for this. You understand? You make so much poor mistakes because you don't have the financial experience. And I say the business made so many mistakes. And it's just growing, Every new business goes through a teething pain or whatever. But you go through it together, you learn from it, and we're able to adapt. We know all of those mistakes. From day one, we kind of have the formula of what not to do. We have that formula of what to do, how to do it, the things we must put in place. And all that to tell your viewers, the reality about it is, you have to just start. Whatever you're going to do,
just start.
You have to start.
And learn as you go.
You can't expect overnight success. Don't get me wrong, there are victories along the way. There are small victories along the way. You must be able to take the good out of every situation. And from the good now, you motivate yourself. And then from the mistakes, you take the learning from it and figure out, all right, how I can fix this problem, how I can improve on it. And then you take the success and the failure and build again on it the next time around. You have to be so crazy in believing in your ideas that you never give up.
Yeah.
And
I remember there was nobody who was mentoring us when we started out in entertainment. So I mean, we learned the hard way. Don't get me wrong, there were a handful of people who did give us some mentorship. And you know, funny enough, I think you say you had like Zachary Hardin on the show. He was one of the guys who kind of
great guy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because Zachary was in entertainment as well.
Zachary still in entertainment.
You know?
Yeah.
Him is a DJ.
DJ.
Yeah, man, him turned DJ now. Man.
Big DJ, Zach.
DJ now, but
Zachary been a DJ.
Alright, no, Mike, I'll correct this. Him turned into a soca DJ now because before he was just doing dancehall and reggae.
Yeah, everybody loves
But for this carnival season, he indicate to me that him can play soca now. So, you know, I'm supposed to follow through on that. Yeah.
DJ Zach, you know?
No, but I was saying, he was one of the few people who would have straight up, you know, there are a handful of them, but him would have sit down and say, boy, you know, Andrew, Ian, you know, that invoice is submit. You know, up to par, and he would tell us how to put together an invoice. Them time there's no go online, find a template for invoicing. You go in Word or a spreadsheet document program and figure out how to create one.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's not like say we were tech savvy like that or even financially knowledgeable about these things. So I mean, people that would have take time to guide you up to this day, we respect it. I appreciate it. You'll never forget it. You understand?
Yeah.
And it actually is a huge part of who I am today because I have a lot of young people around me.
Mentoring them and guiding them.
I don't want to say mentoring because I hate the word mentor in the sense that people think that it's just you telling them what to do. I learned so much from the people who have around me.
Indirectly.
I think, boy, directly too. But I will tell you a lot. Any young person come to me, anybody come to me with an idea looking at opportunity, I never say no.
Yeah.
I always give them opportunity, I always give them a chance, whether it's through Sleek, whether it be iLove Soca, or with Yardmas, or with anything I'm doing. Politically, I would give a lot of people help, encourage them, give them the opportunity to try. I mean, when them fail, or if they fail or don't fail, I mean, I make a determination how I proceed after that.
Yeah.
But the little help I got, I not say no to people right now, and I realize that too has turned into a huge part of my success in the sense that, and I don't want to use the word success because I don't think I reach anywhere to talk about success, but it has been a huge part of the foundation or the empire that we're building
you into the person
because those same people who, let's say, there are people who I would have worked with 10 years ago to see who they are now, 5 years ago to see who they are now. You understand? I've learned so much from them, just like how I guess them when I take some encouragement and motivation from me, or I learn from me, I've learned so much from them as well. They counsel me and give me advice, whether it be with ideas, how to improve stuff. So, you know, I think that's a huge part of growing and building a business.
Yeah, so you're able to not only learn from older people, but also younger people, just as how the logo situation with
Fed
Republic, the younger ones.
But what I realize is a lot of older people, or not older people, just business people, not business people, but people in general, they feel like if you're young, you don't have nothing to say.
I don't think that exists again. I think them days gone, man.
Fully gone?
Yeah, man. Anybody believe like that, them really outdated. I would tell you this, is the young people running the world right now.
Yeah.
All of the industries, all of the, creative industries have now been fully recognized. You know? 10, 15 years ago, it was never. You know, right now, social media, all of this is run by young people.
Yeah.
It's young people pushing the envelope with everything.
Yeah.
You get me? So you'd be naive and stupid to ignore.
A younger person.
I'm not saying you have to take the advice, but you must make the time to listen at least. Because sometimes they might be on to something.
Yeah, because
and they even realize what them on to, you know?
Because even in entertainment like you, young people would be good people to have on your team per se, because it's not like iLove Soca, expect a bunch of 50-year-olds to come to iLove Soca. So it's be young people. So you taking heed from a young person per se and like things to implement in the next event. It would be a really solid hearing because they know what they would want to come and see. So they know the audience, they are the audience.
You're right.
So it's good to listen from them in that aspect. And we were on the topic a while ago of just starting in whatever you have to do. I really wanted to emphasize how important that is because, and we were also on manifestation as well. A lot of people, they will have a vision and leave it up to manifesting. Like, it will happen. One day it will happen. It must happen, right?
2 legs in bed,
But I want you to emphasize on that because, in my opinion, I don't know if a lot of people look at it this way, but my analogy of that is a vision without a plan is just a dream, right? So you need to put in that work.
You need say a meme, man, just repeat it for me.
This morning, man.
You need to.
Nah, it's true though. Yeah.
You can't just sit around and wait for it to. You have to have it happen. You have to go and do it. So I would love for you to emphasize how important it is.
You can't teach that. You can't force it.
You have to, something you just have to learn.
It's me not lie.
But a lot of them by them learn it too late.
Get some huge opportunities in life, but they just don't have the faith to step out and take the risk. Sometimes people, whether for legit reasons or just mental reasons or psychological reasons, some people are afraid of risk. Yeah. And you have to respect that. Not everybody, and that's something I want to say, not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Everything is not for everyone.
There was a time when I used to kind of burn out 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I guess as I get older, I don't know, I learn.
Everybody have them.
Because
my success in my business need 9 to 5 people. Need
everything of it.
So there's a place, not everybody can be, the shepherd or the sheep or the wolf, You born them out?
No, I'm not born them out.
Oh.
No, because they're necessary.
People normally
it's
think
just
about
that it's
them
not
out still,
free.
People normally think about them out.
No, but the point I'm making is there are some people who they will never be able to take that risk.
Never.
They don't know how to, and regardless of having the perfect opportunity, like for argument's sake, and this is not necessarily true all the time. This is definitely not true all the time, but some of the time, for entrepreneurs who start from nothing, you don't have no life savings.
Yeah.
You're not born in the money. You have the greatest idea. You're willing to go road and make it work.
Put in the work.
You don't have $1 to make that idea come to life. Then on the flip side, you have a youth who in family have money. And parents put the platform for him to just run with it, and it just turn out to be nothing.
All him want to buy PS5.
Yeah. So, look how life ironic, you understand? I dying for start a business. I work out a plan, I ready for go road. And I don't have $1. I go to the bank and the bank shut me down because I have no credit.
Yeah.
I don't have no uncle to go to and get $1 from. But this man have every dollar in the world. And him have a blueprint. And him not have nothing. So I'm just saying you can't force people, and not everybody have to be an entrepreneur. But I said, if you have the passion for something and you're willing to, not willing, but you know that your calling is to do something and to be, go against the grain, or to be taboo, or to just try something new, or build your own business, A formal business or non-traditional, it don't matter. You just have to start. You can start small. If you can't afford to just one day jump off of the cliff, you start small while you have your 9 to 5. When you go home, you juggle and do what you're doing, whether it's an event, you want to do an event, or a party. You start small. Don't look on iLove Soca and say, all right, so I have to build out this big stage, and then now you build out this big event, and then 100 people show up and you lose so much money. Don't get me wrong, that's how we learn, Cause I tell you what not to do, because we do that.
Yeah, because you said the first iLove Soca only had 150 people.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you have a dream, you're right, the dream don't work if you're not willing to step out and take a risk. There's no reward if you're not taking a risk in life. And the smarter you get is the more you calculate the risk.
Yeah.
I would say when I was younger, I never used to calculate the risk. Even though some of my business partners, they say I kind of push the envelope.
Just good vibes.
So like last year when we did Soca Plus, I love Soca, the Soca Plus, we make the biggest stage ever in life. 120 feet wide, almost 50 feet high. From the get-go, we knew that it wasn't going to be profitable. Yeah. And we knew it would be loss leading investment. Yeah. But we know that it would have changed the game. You understand? And it helped to propel the industry as well as ourselves.
That's like playing chess. You have some, some pawns.
You have to sacrifice some.
It's hard when you sacrifice your money that you sometimes don't even have. Remember, so we're just coming out of COVID, And not everything that glitter is gold. And you need to know that, you know. You watch the biggest events, you know, and at the end of the night, you know, a promoter don't make $1. Everything gone right back to suppliers. Everything gone to the experience.
True, so true.
You get me?
Yeah.
And that's where now, you know, financial management and maturity and good team and a good structure in the business ensure that you don't lose your skin or that you make profit, because you have one director who kind of hold him back, the extremely creative one, and said, no, you can't do that this time, Bella. You have to kind of, the stage can't be 200 foot high, you know? So, and that's actually part of the structure that we have now, you know, keep me in check, keep each other in check.
Let me ask you a question. If you had, starting out, going back in time, you had all the money in the world to do anything that you wanted to do, what would you do? Like, would it make things easier for you, or you think it would have been a situation where it would have not been as valuable as just going through the struggles and learning as you go?
That will never happen.
Never happen.
I'm convinced God made me work hard for everything. And I'm so happy with it. I would never change it. I don't want to win the lotto. I know I don't want to sound cliche again, but the real joy is in the challenge. The real joy is setting out an impossible task
100%.
and making it a reality and a success. That has been my journey. That has been my story. I've always been challenged. I always going against the grain. I always have a bag of naysayers. I don't want to say bad mind, but people who just, you're too ambitious and you're too greedy.
I'm scared
At
for
times, I mean, I've heard it, you know, you're big in entertainment. Why you going into politics, you know, and people, you know, why not? You understand? Why I can't give more of myself? You understand? Why I'm so comfortable here? Or, you know, and I believe that some of my purpose in life is to pull my friends with me, pull my business partners with me. I learn from them and then pull me enough of the time. But, you know,
so what are the plans?
Not easy.
Not easy.
And I don't want it easy.
So what are your plans for growth in the future?
For growth?
You know? Just overall
within
growth.
like Yardmas especially.
Yardmas, iLove, Soca, everything that you have going on, sleek, everything.
I will say this. Thankfully, we had an amazing team, a hard-working team this year for Yardmas. A brand new partnership. Some of the partners had no experience in Carnival. Some had experience in Carnival. We were able to pool efforts despite egos, despite personality clashes. Were able to pull off the impossible. We were the last ones out of the block. We launched in January. We launched in January, and we came out definitely with great reviews. We had a massive turnout, a huge win. Without a doubt, we have now planted the foundation for crazy success.
Yeah.
You understand? And kudos to the other bands, because collectively we have
the same space
we spark back a fire for Carnival in Jamaica. I think Carnival in Jamaica this year was a real test because there weren't so many foreigners this year coming in. Some came, but not as big as before. Okay. You know, the government made a lot of money collectively. Billions of dollars came into the country, whether it be through hotels, through flights, through food, in events, in the road. Collectively, we did well, but it's in next year.
Massive.
Next year going to be massive.
Funny enough, you see this year, like we were here shooting pods, right? And the amount of people that we actually saw like coming in and the amount of traction that you guys had on social media.
Yeah.
I actually thought this year was the biggest Carnival.
And I want to get you, this don't come close to 2019.
Yeah?
2019 was so much bigger. You understand? But, you know, I will tell you this way. I find collectively now, Jamaicans on a whole are being more appreciative of Carnival, are willing to include it and accept it. You know, before, you know, it was a huge taboo, you know. When we just started, as I said, it was people frowned upon it, you know.
Because not everybody used to the soca.
But the younger generations come up and, I mean, exposure to everything internationally make us say, we have to be inclusive. So now, the opportunity for Carnival to grow It's going to grow locally at a rapid rate, and it's going to grow internationally, as in tourists flying in. Yeah. So without a doubt, within no time, we're going to have probably the largest carnival in the Caribbean.
You know what? I saw a conversation as well on Twitter where normally, I'm not well informed on this, just to let you guys know, right? But I saw something on Twitter where they were saying, like, I think it was when they kept it at Huey Bowl? iLove Soca?
iLove Soca,
yeah. Yeah, Huey Bowl. Yeah. And they were saying, like, you guys started to play dancehall and other music and stuff like that. Was it ever a situation where it was just carnival music and then they just decided to transition into playing other music?
That has been a challenge. And it come back to what he was mentioning, which I'm glad you bring that up. Don't make me forget what you asked.
Yeah.
There's a huge reason why we surround ourselves with young people. They're a huge part of any success you have now, and they're definitely going to be a big part of your future success, right? And I use young, but young loosely, I guess, whatever. But it's easier for young people to look on something and give you a very non-biased perspective. It's still personalized, but they're going to give you a good perspective of what the collective talking about it, what the issues are, and what you need to do to grow it. With an older demographic, when you go to them for advice and criticism, it's normally very personalized in the sense that based on where they are and their comfort zone, and them not as liberal again, and not as aggressive, and not pursuing a lot of experiences the same way they used to do before. And, you know, we made a collective decision to surround ourselves with young people because we wanted the brand to be more than us.
Timeless.
So nobody need to know who keep iLove Soca. That has always been our agenda. You know, it's all about iLove Soca. iLove Soca Jamaica. And that brand need to be bigger than us. So if we drop down dead tomorrow, that brand can last.
Live on.
You understand?
Need some work for real still.
So we surround ourselves with people who understand that and feel that. So back to what you were saying. Remember when you just...
I was saying, you know, you guys transitioning from just soca to mixture of dancehall and other music, Afrobeats and stuff.
Yeah, so let's say 10 years ago, we had the event, it was small, probably at that time 1,500 people, 1,000 people, whatever. That was big to us, type of thing. Yeah. That crowd would have been a pure crowd, a pure soca crowd. And I may be wrong and don't want nobody come attack me. But let's say that demographic at that time wasn't necessarily the youngest demographic. You understand? The youngest demographic at that time was in the more trendy stuff, which should have been more dancehall.
Dancehall did hot.
Yeah, it's still hot, you know. I don't want it ever seem like, you know.
It's hot.
But what happened was, as iLove Soca started to grow, and started to grow exponentially, we realized we had a lot of soca virgins coming to this thing. A man kind of frowns there, I don't want to go to a soca party, you know. Yo, I don't want to see certain things him don't want to see and whatever. But then him come and the experience is so different. You understand? It's a different environment. It's not as tense as some dancehall spaces and type of thing. So we convert people over time. In converting them, because it's not our music, you know, there's a natural desire for your own. So you watch our party. We could have played soca for 3 hours straight and play the wickedest soca songs. It's when you drop a dancehall song that the party lift. The party go from 90 to 200. You understand? And it speaks to a bigger issue. It speaks to the fact that we have always been inclusive because we realize now people exposed to Afro. They're exposed to international music and they listen to everything. So there's a time and place, everything, and they want to have fun. And that fun nowadays is not just dancehall, it's not just soca, it's a mixture of everything. Yeah. But it speaks to a bigger issue that we need to create our own form of carnival music, our own form of soca music in Jamaica. So that way, Jamaicans now will own it as their own. You understand? Right now, we love soca, we appreciate it, but majority of it is non-Jamaican. You understand? Just like how we love hip hop and we love Afrobeats, it's not Jamaican, but you get me?
But there's no other country that is really known for dancehall but Jamaica. You know? So like for example, like other countries are known for
Agreed,
soca.
that's a good point. But we don't own reggae again. Everybody in the world doing reggae. Last year, who won the Grammy? It wasn't a Jamaican.
Yeah, true.
You understand? So the point is that the world growing and we kind of have the opportunity to grow with soca because outside that, it being a huge revenue generator for the country and for tourism, and it's a huge business. This is something that can run 9 months out of the year. You can have employed people working, probably a whole year. It is actually an opportunity for our entertainment industry, our music industry, to kind of spawn off to have a new little mini genre for a couple months type of thing, that can, if we were to able to create soca music for our carnival in Jamaica experience. Imagine we had some songs, probably 15, 20 songs that is only ours. And all the foreigners come here, them love it. You understand? The next carnival that come up, them they want us to go and perform there. So now you're creating a new industry for these artists, a new opportunity for the artists them to go and perform to, you know?
Yeah. I would have said something about like the time it would take to do that, but the thing you said earlier, which is just start. That's what really take precedence,
Yeah.
Because from your start, you're gonna get to a point where you never know, it might catch on quick. Because you have TikTok and them thing there.
People doing that already though, I mean, you have to big up people like Ramesh,
Yeah.
TJ Records. I mean, a lot of the guys have dabbled in it.
Yeah.
But nobody has fully taken it on and said, boom, we try something.
So outside of, we'll soon wrap up, but outside of entertainment, right? You were speaking, especially with the 2020 coronavirus situation where you had to start diversifying. You're speaking about music now. So what are some of the other industries that you're a part of, or some of the other, if you mind sharing, like investments or partnerships that you have?
I'm not going to talk about them. But I would say...
I
would say this. So when COVID hit us, and it was boof, Sleek at that time...
Is it ready for the bureau?
Next mic for
Sleek was fully dependent on events and entertainment. Right? We had no choice but to figure out how the hell we're going to keep the business running. How we're going to pay bills, how we're going to survive. We had to transition into a more corporate style brand.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's one of the things that we did. In doing that, it created a void in the industry that once COVID kind of dwindled down, other brands were able to come up. You understand? And I mean, I love that. I remember coming from nothing. So that's one of the things we did. Just to adjust and shift. I'd give an example with Sleek. The team was able to pivot, went through a lot of transitional periods within this little time of COVID to where we are now. A lot of people came in, some left, but we have a solid team now and a solid agenda and trajectory that we're on.
I would say that you don't just do entertainment events, you do like a lot of private stuff with Sleek as well. Because I went to a event at there was a company being listed.
Yeah.
And I went to the Jamaica Stock Exchange and you guys were the ones covering it.
Yeah.
Casey, you had a question?
Okay. I wanted to know how involved are you in planning and execution of events? And for
different level.
for the persons who are studying over at Carmack doing event planning and stuff like that.
I used to tell them, of course. I used to go talk over there.
Yeah. What is the biggest or the main focus for if you want to plan an event? That you would say, persons maybe are distracted by finance, investment, they're distracted by production, whatever, but you have an event that you want to plan, what would you say is just like the main thing that you need to put all your emphasis and energy in?
Everything.
Everything?
I mean, I will probably explain it this way. For 3 weeks leading up to Carnival, a legit eat, sleep, events. Like, I think about every single aspect of the event. From sales of tickets to production to decor to entertainment to security to any form of logistics, the lighting, anything that can go wrong, how you go against it. It is not just a turnkey experience, it's not a club, you know? So you have a kind of, well, for me, I mean, everybody different. And I guess when you have a big team and I have a team and I guess this is where the OCD kick in. Every aspect, I think about every single aspect. What has happened now is that, and I guess you wouldn't be able to say that right now, but I'd have a team where I have different leads who I can trust. So I know straight up, I don't have to worry about finance. I have a strong business partner doing that. I have a strong business partner who deal at bar and stuff like that. I driven and I have serious passion for like the build out and the decor. You know, like last iLove, you see the palace, that was just a crazy idea. I don't know how would I make it come to life, but you know, you find the right people to make it come to life. You know, big up Simone, big up Steven, you know. But you have to take every aspect of your event very serious. You have to focus on every aspect of it, plan and over-plan. Have a checklist, go through the checklist countless times. Whether it's physical or virtual or in your mind, whatever it is. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but that's really how I approach it.
Yeah. And it also seems like you're very involved.
I certainly am. You see, people only remember the last experience you give them, you know. Yeah. They really only remember the last experience, you know. So we'll make a great effort to make sure we don't drop the catch. Every event have hiccups. Every event will have minor little situations, but because of how we manage it, 99% of the people have no clue what's going on. Them just have a good time.
Yeah, really.
Them go, enjoy themselves, them leave. Them wouldn't know what's going on. And I'm not even saying no night on this. When it's done, I can't tell you. No. But and that's part of the planning. That's part of where you're putting in contingencies for things that don't even exist.
Yeah.
You know, and this comes from learning the hard way. You know, imagine you have an event and the generator chip out. Your sound and light, everything dead one time. That happened to us 7 years ago. After that, every event you have 2, 3, 4. Right now we have 5 generators in every event. Okay. I don't take no check. You understand? You know, embarrassing that would have been. Imagine people what they I love Soca and it just gone.
You know, so like.
Can you imagine all them scandals on Twitter? Them when I say we now pay with like this or some crap. No, so you have to.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to treat it like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
But again, that's very extreme.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
So Andrew, how can the viewers find you?
I would say it's not about Andrew Bellamy. And I'm going to say this. I've always shied away from doing these types of interviews and these opportunities. No, I'm going to say this. So, I always shy away from it. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. I don't believe that I reach anywhere that I should be even talking about the resemblance of success, and this is very honest from me. I constantly pushing myself and I constantly see the areas for improvement.
Yeah.
But it's recently, somebody said to me, you have no idea the amount that you can pass on to people. Even though you don't reach where you want in your journey, there's so much you can share. And so much people can learn from you, regardless if you think you're chatting gibberish.
Yeah.
All of that to say is, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the brands.
It's about the brands.
You understand? You can find the brands, you know, iLove Soca Jamaica, Yardmas, Carnival, Your Best Weekend Ever, Sun Nation, Sleek Jamaica. I have my political service to the people platform is I am Jamaica. I am Andrew Bellamy. Forgive me for taking so long. Don't put that. No, but funny enough, straight up. I mean, my public Live from my public pages, I am Andrew Bellamy.
Yeah.
And that's where I do my political work or any charity or how I give back. Clearly, people can reach out to me on a personal level, whatever, WhatsApp, email, personal IG, that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I try to manage public and private life. It's the hardest thing to do. And I'm nowhere in politics. I don't reach nowhere in politics, but it's hard to do it. And I make a very big effort to kind of keep my little private life.
Yeah.
I keep me sane.
Yeah, man, but we love what you're doing, man. That's why we had to get you on the pod. You're a great inspiration to a lot of people, including myself. All right, because even the conversation that we had, I was able to take a lot and see a lot of stuff that I'm doing in my business and just reflect on my journey as well. And I really, I'm grateful for the conversation that we had today. You're the big man, you know that, man.
Respect, man. I appreciate the invite. I hope I never disappoint you in the podcast. I don't know what you're looking for.
Good, man. You're great, man.
And there's so much that, honestly, I never share. It's like my brain remembering everything, figuring out what should I say.
So the thing is, we can't give them everything one.
No.
Yeah.
We're good, man. We're good.
Like a party.
No. That's the next thing now.
Next time, I'm big thing, you know?
Next iLove though. Next iLove going to mash up the place.
Mash up the place, man.
I have a new concept, man. We'll figure it out for your best weekend. It must.
That's summer. That's
August 4th.
August 4th.
We kick it. It starts August 4th to August 7th, but iLove Soca kicks off the weekend.
Yeah, man.
We have a new concept that we have never done before. It's going to mash up the place.
So respect for being on the pod.
Yeah, man.
Y'all know the vibe. Winners win.
Respect. I found it weird that he invited me and I'm not a billionaire, but I guess he's speaking it into being. I welcome this prophecy.
Yes.
Trust me.
Good vibe, man.
Yeah, man. Respect.
Winners win. We normally end it with saying winners win.
Yeah.
Good.
2, 1.
Winners win. Wow.